Welcome to the Mosh Pit. I'm your host, Wes Everett, and I am here today with my special guest, Saxony Rain from Revel and Romance. This interview kicks off our 2023 season, and, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but here's the interview. We got it all straightened out, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Looking forward to another wonderful year, bringing you interviews, bringing you new music, and bringing all these awesome bands. So, let's get into it.
From the Stereo Sound Record Studios, your home for the best in unsigned and indie punk, rock, and metal. This is the Mosh Pit with your host, Wes Everett.
There it is. This is the Mosh Pit, and I'm your host, Wes Everett. With me today, my special guest, Miss Saxony Rain. How are you doing?
Hello, I am good. I'm so happy to be here.
Dude, this has definitely been a long time in the making.
Absolutely. It has been oh my gosh, years since we've said we were going to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. And now things have changed for me. I'm actually in a studio.
Yes, congratulations.
Speaking of studios, I hear that you've got one now.
Yes. So we, during COVID, obviously, since that was such a trying time for people, we were trying to figure out how we could still create and record our creations. And so we decided to design our own studio, and now we're starting to record our own stuff, and everything is sounding exactly how we want it to, and it's all very hands-on, and now it's our responsibility to get stuff done too. So it's really, really exciting to try to really motivate each other in this time too.
Oh yeah. Oh, I feel that. that. So speaking of COVID, lockdown, and all that nonsense, how did that help you guys as far as writing new music and helping, really bring stuff together?
We've always been pretty active songwriters. So COVID kind of just launched that into how do we get this out sort of idea, So we were obviously we've been inspired by a few different things. So over the course of COVID, which we're just, waiting on that final sprinkle of excitement to it, before we put that out. And we were able to, write a bunch of new stuff, and then really just throw ourselves into figuring out how the heck do we do this ourselves, because we've always leaned on other people for the recording side of things. And so we took it as an opportunity to learn and to grow. And
Against the Fold, keep on.
You gotta live. Why would you bother? I heard you say, oh, your tomorrows, they're gone anyway. that you got left. All you can muster might fall short. Will that be your reason to shut the door? Still sail the road up, and even you. It's not all the years, it's what you do. All this time, all this that you got left. All that you got left.
Get back to what we were talking about. You just moved to a studio. You've been through the lockdown with COVID. You've written songs. What do you got on the plate now?
Okay, on the plate now. We're still recording a ton. Obviously, now that we have the studio built out, we are kind of just heads down doing that. We just released What Did I Do Wrong Today on Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much anywhere you can find your favorite music, that you should be able to find What Did I Do Wrong Today there. That one was really exciting to release, though, also because we collaborated with my younger brother on the artwork of it. So very cool, like collaboration stuff going on over here. But yeah, lots more music to come now that we have a space of our own.
That is awesome. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yes.
So the last time we actually got together about anything was the CR Music Fest. I'm gonna go way back on this one.
So far back.
That was what, 2018?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Somewhere
I
in
think it
there.
was 2018. Yeah, that was a while ago. That was before the chaos.
It was simpler times.
Right?
But yeah, that event was killer. Got to see you guys.
hmm
I actually left before y'all performed, but I did get to see the videos, and y'all were just absolutely killing it.
Thank you so much. Yeah. The stage is a place where we all feel like we belong. We all just have a party, and like we're at the end of every show, if there's something that was like messed up, because obviously we're all human, if something messes up, we're always like, well, did we at least have fun, And if we had a great time, then it was a great show. So
Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
What has been one of your favorite venues to perform at?
Hmm. My favorite venue would actually we were able to be lucky enough to be a part of the festival scene for a minute. And we performed at Summerfest in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And it was awesome. They basically like I like to tell people that I am occasionally famous. So So they treated us like we were famous, and like we got the whole VIP treatment. We were able to be a part of all the cool things that they have going on there. We were able to open for All American Rejects, so it was just like a dream come true, to be honest. Like, and then the stage was just like massive, so you're able to like run if you want to, or jump if you want to, and so that has always just stood the test of time for us, just having that space where we can just do what we do best, and plug in the choreography and do all the little things that we just say, like, wouldn't this be cool if we were on a huge stage, and so that really gave us the opportunity to do that. We all have our favorite like shows and stuff like that we've gotten to do too, and that was a really good time for us to just come together too, and be with each other and talk about how much we're loving doing this together. So
That is awesome. I love it. I love it. So y'all have done the Atlanta circuit, right? Smith's,
Yes.
Masquerade,
Mhm.
all those.
Yes, absolutely. We're super close with the Masquerade. I would call that our home venue right now. We're actually in conversation with them about potentially doing another show in 2023, hopefully early 2023. So that's kind of like on our docket right now, and kind of in the process of being solidified. So hopefully we'll get that underway. But yeah, Atlanta's home.
Definitely. Well, definitely keep me posted on that, because I'd love to come out and catch another show, because that's what I'm trying to get back into is, after the pandemic, after lockdown, it was just so hard to get back to shows. We went to one last night and I'm still feeling it because I'm old.
You're only young you're only old if you say you're old. Young forever.
But it was a great show, and it made me miss getting out there and getting to see the bands that I've played on this podcast, that I've interviewed on this podcast. And it's a different vibe. It's a different vibe seeing you guys live in your element, not, okay, we have to look all professional and do this interview because Wes is going to ask all these stupid questions.
Right, like when we're at a show, it's a different energy. It's like a let loose, like enjoy yourself, like don't overthink it. And when we're like in these sort of interview moments, we're like, oh God, did I say that right? Like we're having a whole moment where like, did I pick the right show? I don't know.
Exactly.
What are we looking for here? What do you want? I don't know. Your brain's like running on overdrive. So yeah, so the shows are really truly where you get all of the energy and all of the emotion too. Like that's another thing that I really like to focus on when performing and when writing. And it's like, if the song doesn't touch me, I can't like sing it,
Yeah.
The guys will get mad at me because I'll be like, that word doesn't make sense, I don't like it. And then they're like, well, I like the word. And I'm like, well, I'm never singing this song. Like it's kind of like a push and shove, And so it's just, yeah, it's fun. We have fun.
Hey, that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about.
Yeah. I'm a Taurus, but the energy only comes out occasionally. And when I won't sing the song, that's big Taurus energy.
I had a feeling, because I am one too. So
yeah. So you
Taurus,
you get me.
Yes, Taurus energy, absolutely.
Deep as bones, spun.
I can tell what you think before you thought of it. I can scream every day until my voice will bleed. This time I'm done. I'm done. So fun in denial that you run away. So strong is my desire. Reaching forth in a million memories. There's no sanity this way. I could think, I could wish everything would be all the same every day. I'm in misery. This time I'm done. I'm done. Those fun in denial that I run away. So strong is my desire that I run away. This time's gonna be the last time. 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 Yeah. Fun in denial. Let me run away. So strong is my desire that I run away. This time's gonna be the last time. 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 Yeah.
So, talking about, you've got your own studio and the writing process of your songs. How do you guys get into that space of, okay, we're laying this song down? Do vocals come to you first? Do you start it with a riff? Is it a mix of things?
I feel like every song is different, as it should be. That's what makes music so cool. But primarily with us, I would say that like most of the time it's a riff that comes first, and I will be in the room while they're kind of tinkering with it, and then I'll kind of come up with words, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm vibing with this, like let's keep it going. Or if I don't have anything that day, I'll record what they're doing, and then I'll be driving in my car, and I'll like pull over to the side of the road and like write down all the words like as fast as I can so I don't lose it. I did that with a song that we released during COVID called Knowing You. That was my pull over to the side of the road song where I just wrote it all down on my way to rehearsal too. And when I got there, we recorded everything and released it same day. We were like, let's just go. Yeah.
That's definitely chorus energy right there.
Exactly. I was like, okay, this has to happen right now while it's happening,
So how much change goes into your songs from the writing to the recording? Is there a lot of change? Is there a little change?
I think it depends on the song. A lot of times there is a lot of change. There is like we'll start with something and then and it will be like beautiful first try, and then we will forget to record it and we're like, dang it, we forgot to record it. We have to figure out what we did last week, and then we'll come back and it'll be a little bit different. And then we're like, oh, what if we gave it this twist? Like, what if we went from like, instead of doing it kind of like country vibes, and if we like technoed it up, like we'll kind of like think of the different ways that we want to be perceived and like throw it into there. And then what's crazy is like, my parents come to rehearsal quite often because we're very close. And my mom will be in the room and she'll listen to the first try. And then, and she's like, oh my God, that's beautiful. You guys need to record that. And we're like, yeah, we do. And then like 2 weeks later, we played again for her and she's like, you ruined my favorite song. And I'm like, Mom, this is my song, not your song. So it's funny, like how often like we change things and move things around, and then by the time we're actually recording it, it's like back to a place where like everybody likes it, because we just never know what we want until it's done, and I think there was something that Parker likes to say all the time. Parker's the rhythm guitarist. He's like, you're never truly done with a song. You just have to set it free,
Yep. You keep messing with it. It's like, this is different than what we started with.
Right. It's like, how did we get here? I don't know. I probably have like so many. I've like started to compile all of our stuff and like organize it so that we know where it is and what it is. Because you know how you get all those like just recordings that are just like recording 169, and you're just like, I don't know what this is. I've started to organize it, and I have found so many different versions of all of our songs that it's just like, I'm like, what the hell? That's what that sounded like first.
Hey, but just think, whenever you guys are famous and huge, you can release them as backtracks and demos.
Right. It's like, listen to what this sounded like first.
Listen to what we didn't let you hear. That's awesome. That is awesome. I love hearing stories like that because I'm just a podcaster. I cannot play music. I cannot write music. I cannot do any of that stuff. So I love hearing the behind the scenes of how songs come together, what you guys, your mental state of let's get in there, let's record this and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I commend you though, because I was like a couple of months ago, I was like, I'm going to start a podcast. And then it was like, I just kept talking about it and then I just never did it. And I was like, all right, well, you know what? I'll just go on other people's podcasts.
Okay. I wish I had done that.
I was like, I don't know what the concept would be, what this would be, what that would be. Do I want it centered around music? Do I want it just centered around my friends and the cool things they're doing? I'm like, I don't know, like what outlet do I want to use? Like, and then I just got caught up in the planning process. So I commend you for making it happen.
It took forever. I appreciate the commitment. Honestly, yes. I had this idea back in like 2013. I didn't even fully launch it until probably late 2015. And then really started pushing in 2017 when I was like, I've just got to start doing shows because, the whole, I hate my voice, and I was like, I got to have a co-host. I can't do this alone. I'm going to sound like an idiot on here. I do sound like an idiot, but it's fun.
But hey, I think that's something to be said too. You have to get used to your own voice.
Oh yeah.
Because I think even now, like I'm kind of the same way. Like I'll listen to myself talk and I'm like, what the hell is that? But I'll listen to myself sing and I know myself that way now, but before I was like, I didn't really know that. And so now I'm getting used to hearing my voice speak.
Awesome. Well, I think bands really could have a good podcast, especially you guys, because a lot of the background information, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, I feel like that's what a lot of bands do if they decide to go down that. I guess they're more like video logs, vlogs, whatever.
Which we did a couple of those too. On our YouTube page, you can see like our vlogs and stuff like that. Our drummer was putting those together, and those were pretty awesome when we were doing a lot of traveling and stuff. You can like see all the different places that we've been and the things that we've done, and that's really cool.
That's so cool. That is so cool.
The Undone Misfortune.
I'll forever implore you. Take what you need. All I want are the answers. What's the meaning for me? I'll forever adore you. It's so easy to see. All I want is the future, baby. Your love is eternal.
So where are you guys headed here? What's the next show?
So next show, kind of bringing it back to the masquerade. That's kind of what we're trying to solidify right now is that show. Hopefully in either late January, early February is kind of like the ballpark time that we're trying to make that happen. And then we are having a meeting next week after the holidays where we can really just say, okay, like what does 2023 look like where are we going to go, what places do we want to see, who, where are our pockets of fans, and how can we really how can we really grasp that and meet them and see them and really make it a more personal experience, since they've experienced us online only for the past like what 3 years now. So it's like crazy how much time has passed like during the COVID, outbreak and everything, and really trying to dive back in and find what is going to work.
Mhm.
We are trying to get in contact with all of our previous contacts about the festivals and stuff too, so we can hopefully jump on that as well and really bring it forth and just make it happen again, because right before the pandemic hit we were so close to just like skyrocketing, and then everything shut down and we were like, okay, what the hell? Now what? So now we have, like the rest of the world, reverted to silly TikTok videos and recording music. So
Hey, as long as you're recording, as long as you're putting something out there, that's
yeah,
like the biggest thing.
yeah.
On that same note, I know we're not extremely close to each other as far as distance wise,
Yeah.
but we are starting something here. Actually, when this airs, it'll be this month.
Hell
um,
yeah.
we we're starting an acoustic songwriters night here at the studio.
Okay.
So
Cool.
just gonna have in local bands,
Yeah.
1 to 2 members of each, if
Hmm.
whoever's available really. And if they want to come by, lay down some songs, just talk about songs, just tell some stories behind them. Kind of think MTV's Unplugged meets VH1 Storytellers.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, that
So
sounds awesome. Do you guys already have like people on the list that you're gonna like see?
January 11th, we do have a pretty stacked roster.
Okay,
It filled
cool.
up a lot faster than I thought it would. And I was like, ooh, okay.
You're like, well, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
We were gonna launch in November, and it was like, okay, launch it right here at the holidays does not make sense because
Mm-mm.
no one has time.
Right. And that's why we were like, okay, we're gonna launch a song at the beginning of December, last day of November, and then we're gonna really just knock it out of the park in 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah, our goal and what we've been like playing around with is like 2 songs a month, hopefully putting that out, and just like every 2 weeks hopefully dropping something, because during COVID and everything we realized that we have like 57 unreleased songs or something like that, and we're like, holy shit.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
y'all
we're
are just writing,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah, it's been flowing and it's been great. And I think like what's been helping too is like now post COVID, I was able to learn how to play piano over the time that we were out, and so like now I can take the song home with me and write a little bit more, and then it's just like making more happen, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy, because I've always been like strictly like voice, and
Mm.
I've always needed to lean on the guys to write, because I just didn't have that extra instrument. And now that I have that, I'm like, oh my God, I could do this. Oh my God, we could do this, and it's becoming like a whole thing. And we're all learning, production on our own, and how to like make it sound like what we want it to sound like, which basically production is just, to me right now, there's so much that goes into it, but to me right now, it is like just rotating buttons and knobs and things like that until you get a sound that sounds good. Like that's it.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
Yeah. And then I'm like, I don't know what this does, but let's turn it.
How are you gonna know if you don't mess with it?
Right, basically. I mean,
Well, that's awesome because I actually just picked up a keyboard for my studio.
hell
So
yeah.
when you guys decide to come on the acoustic jam night, I'll have you something.
Yes. I'm not great yet, but you know what? We're working on
There
it.
you go.
Revel in Romance, Young.
The evening ended months ago. A red rose, passionate throws, spectacular disasters, I know. I tried to tell you I'm not sorry. We were young. I tried to tell you I'm not sorry. We were sunrise, careless car rides. We never did drive home that night. Your white shirt and black ink words, they fill my heart with pastel colors. I tried to tell you I'm not sorry. We were young. I tried to tell you I'm not sorry. We were young. I tried to tell you I'm sorry. We were young. I tried to tell you I'm not sorry. We were young.
So let's talk about your goals for 2023. I know you've touched on them, but what are the 3 that you want to make happen?
So we say 2 songs a month, but my personal goal is 1 song a month because we know it can be really aggressive to do that. And release, let's say 3 music videos. I think that would be awesome because we have one already in the pocket, so we just have to record and release the next ones. And then to tour. I would like to see maybe like 5 to 10 more cities that I haven't been to yet. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, goals there.
Very cool. I'm going to branch off of that.
Okay.
What top 3 cities do you want to see the most out of your list?
Oh, let's see. I'm trying to think of ones that I like haven't seen yet. Seattle would be a place that I would love to see and go. Trying to think what else. Because I've been to a lot. Let's see. I think a beach town would be cool. Maybe like maybe go back to California because we were only able to be there for a little bit. So I think maybe just exploring West Coast.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, because we went to like Venice Beach and we were there for like a day or 2, so we didn't really get the full experience. So would love to go back there.
Yeah.
And then Arizona, I thought Arizona was beautiful, but a lot of people are like, it's just hot. And I'm like, no, it's kind of pretty. I'm used to lots of trees and humidity, and this is the opposite.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. I hope all those come true. I hope you guys just kill it in 2023 because I feel like things are opening back up. It's time to really, push and hit
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
hard as you
absolutely.
can. So
Right. And just like I mean, I'd like to do more podcasts and just like spread out too, like because I feel like we've kept such in a pocket that,
Mhm.
I want to collaborate with other people and I want to, really just talk to more people because I feel like we've been so like, we got to do it this way and we got to do it that way and we got to do it this way and we got to do it that way. It's like, why not talk to that person over there? It's
Yeah.
like, hello, how are you? Yes, I'll listen to your song. Sure, you want vocals? Let's do it. Like that's kind of like where my mindset is now is how many people can we touch?
Nice.
Yeah.
Here's a fun one. Collaborate with 3 bands. And I'm going to do it differently this time. Collaborate with 3 Atlanta bands. Who would you choose?
Atlanta bands. Oh. I'm trying to think because Glimmers is like our best friends, so I would always do things with them. I think that would be great. Have you've met them? Have you met them? Yeah.
I know I've played them on the podcast. We haven't had a chance to sit down and actually do an interview yet, but we've talked about it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think they are that's probably top tier for me would be Glimmers. Um and I think I would kind of like gear outside of bands too and do like rappers and stuff like that. I think it'd be cool to like partner with people that aren't doing the same thing that we're doing so we can get a whole different sound.
oh yeah.
I have a couple friends that are in the I'm trying to think of like who else I would collaborate with. This is a hard question. Honestly, right now I'm like anyone. Like, let's do anything you want.
You heard that. Anybody.
Anybody, you just reach out to me. Let's do something. I'm totally open. I'm ready to just like hang.
That's awesome. And I love that energy because you're like, it could be a country artist. Let's do it. That'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Who cares? Let's just do something that's like, because I think the cool thing about music is it doesn't matter what genre you're in, like, you're all artists, you're all like trying to create something and you can learn from each other. So, like, even within our band, like, we all have different musical interests, like, we all have different like influences. So, like, for me, like, it's very much like, Taylor Swift, Sheryl Crow, Avril Lavigne is like my like side of things.
Yeah.
And then for Remy, our bassist, he is like total jam band, like he loves Fish, like he loves Slightly Stupid, like like kind of listing those. And then our drummer Mark likes like Red Jumpsuit Apparatus and like stuff like that. So it like kind of brings in that more like 90s rock sort of feel. And our lead guitar is very punk and hardcore like inspired, so it's like it's really cool to just like see what all comes together, because also like we have Parker who's like 1975 and like and brings more of that like M83 like you know more electronic like ideas, so it kind of all comes together to create this thing that like is kind of something that like everybody can a little bit relate to, because we have all different feels and all different you know sounds that are like from different genres and different eras, and it's just like, oh crap, this is cool.
I love that. I love that because I mean, with all that mixed, especially with y'all's personalities, I mean, y'all could just play anything.
Yeah, I mean, and we have fun doing it. We don't like we also like when we're at rehearsals and stuff like that, if anybody has an idea, we're trying it out, like even if it won't work, we're like, that's not gonna sound good, but let's try it.
There you go. There you go.
I think that's how you find it, like it's just by testing out, because even if it doesn't sound great, like you're gonna be inspired by that to have something either better or different.
Yeah,
So yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, things that you wouldn't think work. I mean, look at Nelly with Florida Georgia Line.
Right. Like
And
what?
it's one of the biggest songs out there.
Right. And that's why I'm like, all right, anybody, let's just do it. Let's just see what happens.
Hey, Ludacris is from Atlanta, ain't he?
I think so, yeah.
There you go, team up with Luda.
Hell yeah. I mean, if only, right?
Right. I mean, I know he listens to the Mosh Pit, so.
Yes. Hello, Luda.
Rage doll, reflection of you.
Eve told
Sax, thank you so much for sitting in on this interview. I've
Yes.
absolutely enjoyed it,
Me too.
despite our technical difficulties.
It has been a time, but it's been great.
Before you go,
Hmm.
do you have any advice for any
And-
bands trying to make a name for themselves?
Just don't stop. I guess, I know everybody hears that all the time, but like if something gets hard or if you have like a bad show or something, just like don't. Like, what show? Like,
Nobody
what
else
show?
remembers it.
Right. No, it's fine. What show? So like just keep moving forward and keep figuring out, what didn't go well. How can you make it a little bit better? Instead of looking at it as, oh my God, I suck, look at it as like, oh, how can we make this better?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a positive outlook because you'll need it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And hey, if you act like you know what you're doing, everybody else thinks you do too.
There we go. That's how we get into half the things we get into.
So tell everybody where they can find you on all your
Okay.
platforms.
Yes, you can find us everywhere at Revel in Romance, and that's RevelinRomance. I'm trying to like spell it. I'm like, uh-oh. Did I do that right? Revel in Romance.
Thank you so much again for sitting in on this. I've absolutely enjoyed it. I'd love to catch up with you again, maybe 6 months, do a follow-up.
Absolutely, we should. I think that would be awesome. I'll probably have a lot more to report too on what we've released by then. So lots of things in the works and lots of things happening. So let's do it. We should go ahead and put that on the books, actually.